The movie, again, really emphasized the things we love about Batman. We see his detective skills come out. That was really great to see. Seeing him upgrading his suit, which is something Batman always has to do. He has to upgrade all his gadgets, all his suits, because eventually he knows it'll be outdated to him. He has to adapt to what criminals are coming out with now, and he needs to be faster, and he has to have more lethal weapons. And he still, though, won't cross his one rule where he won't kill, which was great that that was a huge focus on The Dark Knight. Joker wants him to break that one rule, but Batman, the great character that he is, does not break that rule, and it was just great to see. Aaron Eckhart, again, as Harvey Dent. He was great as a Harvey Dent, and as Two-Face, it was like you really feel sorry for him because this is the downfall of Gotham's White Knight, and you can't help but wish that, you know, he could have gone it another way, but this is the reality, and he is Two-Face, and Joker has just really messed him up in the head to the point where he thinks what he's doing is about balance and chance, but it's not. And it was really cool to see how Christopher Nolan managed to bring in Joker and Two-Face into one movie, because not very often can a movie have more than one villain and still succeed, and this one managed to succeed in like just the highest lengths possible. So The Dark Knight, that was a really great movie. Good crime drama, good superhero movie, good graphic novel movie, great, just all around something that you have to watch, and the action is definitely going to keep you hooked, and if you have not seen it, you should. And now for the final movie in the trilogy, The Dark Knight Rises, which came out just this year and concluded Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy, and it was a great way to end the trilogy because you had that closure that it deserved. Like, it won't go on any further. The ending, you could come up with your own open ending. Joseph Gordon-Levitt, who plays John Blake, who is revealed to be Robin John Blake. Fans either see him being Nightwing or Batman. I personally see him becoming Nightwing because, you know, in this movie, Batman has sacrificed so much, and eventually when he dies, he is eventually seen as a hero, and it's best to keep that memory preserved, and, you know, John Blake should definitely create his own mantle as Nightwing. The Dark Knight Rises had, again, a great intro with the ice cracking, and you see the cracks forming the bat symbol, which symbolize how Batman has been missing, he's gone into hiding, but all these events that are happening in The Dark Knight Rises help bring Batman out from hiding and also become more triumphant because he has to protect the city, he has to save everyone, and it also shows the strengths of this character and why he is like so engaging. Christian Bale delivered his probably the greatest Batman performance he has out of all three, and it just made this being the last that much more sadder because we won't see him as Batman anymore. But from what we got from him as Batman and as Bruce Wayne, it was really great. The movie drew a lot from The Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller, Batman No Man's Land, and Batman Nightfall. And Batman Nightfall, you can see a lot, especially because of Bane played by Tom Hardy. And like, his performance can pretty much almost be matched with Heath Ledger's performance as the Joker. He's really intimidating, but he also has a lot of his own philosophical views on his own kind of revolution, and like how he just wants pretty much to destroy Gotham, and that just makes for a great villain because he is smart and he is just lethal and dangerous physically. And when we see that epic fight between Batman and Bane, this is what you saw. But what I saw, and I don't know about you guys who have read the books, you probably saw this too in your head, this image, and you know, it was like so surreal because you never thought you would see that moment. You would think that the trailer would have shown it, but no, it didn't. Luckily, Christopher Nolan kept that a secret, and we got to see that scene play out in the theater for the first time and feel the devastation of our hero being broken. The reason for that Batman being led to his downfall was Catwoman, who isn't referred to as Catwoman, but she is only referred to as Selina Kyle, played by Anne Hathaway, who gives a really captivating performance because she can come off as an innocent girl while also coming off as overconfident thief, and you know, she adds so much sexiness to it, which is something that Catwoman just portrays, like, you know, the underworld of crime, but mainly just to survive on your own and just having fun with it, which is what Anne Hathaway did a good job in showing in her role. And Michael Caine as Alfred Pennyworth had the least scenes from all the original characters, but really you can't help but feel so emotional with his scenes because everything is saddened because he sees Bruce wanting to be Batman again, and he knows that there is a chance that Batman could die, or Bruce could die becoming Batman again, and he is so against it that he ends up leaving, and he also gives so much heavy dialogue to try to persuade Bruce into not being Batman anymore, and it's so saddening to see that Alfred really can't take any more of seeing Bruce just taking so much hits and like just injuring himself so badly, especially since he has cared for Bruce since he was first born, even up to now. And you know, eventually when we get to the end, seeing Michael Caine's performance, it was just making the ending that much sadder. And I applaud Michael Caine's performance, which was just heartfelt. Marion Cotillard, who plays Talia al Ghul. The big reveal, honestly, this is why you should not follow said photos or said videos, and especially forums. The people will come up with their theories and you will believe them, especially because it makes so much sense, and that eventually ruined the surprise of Miranda Tate being Talia al Ghul. But Marion's performance as Talia was really great. At first you don't believe that she could ever be against Bruce, but when she reveals to be Ra's al Ghul's daughter, you're gonna just stab him like right there, especially when it seemed like you had feelings for him. It's like, you know, he'll have no fury like a woman scorned, as they say. And while Talia was just really taking revenge for Batman letting her father die. The stakes have really risen, and Batman has so much at stake here, and that just makes the fact that he's broken and now imprisoned in Bane's prison that much more of a heavy plot device, because he has to escape this prison, he has to climb out, and when he does, it's just so inspiring, and you really can't help but root for Bruce as he climbs out and makes his way to return to Gotham. And when he does, he gets into a great rematch, and we get some good action scenes, and eventually Batman sacrificing himself, or so we thought. I was so glad that Bruce did not die trying to protect Gotham, and he really got the ending he deserved. He was happy. He got to go live off with Selina Kyle. Even though Selina Kyle betrayed him, she knew that Batman is what Gotham needs, and also was inspired by Batman to do what's right. And so, of course, it made sense that she would also go off and start her own new life that she always wanted, but this time with Bruce, just like Bruce seems to also want. And it was great to see him happy at the end, and also that he planned to have John Blake be Gotham's new protector. That final shot of John Blake on the platform rising, that one, although I would have loved for Bruce to be in that shot, or for him to be in John Blake's position, the ending was still, that final shot was a great way to end it, because it showed the Batman mantle, or the Batman legend, is over, but we have an open ending kind of thing. We don't see John Blake becoming Batman or Nightwing, since he is called Robin, but we can come up with whatever we want to, and it's not an official ending. The trilogy is over, but the ending is up to whatever our mind can come up with, and I think Christopher Nolan did a great job. On the movie, he did a great job. With the Robin character, it felt like he didn't do enough justice to the character. He took aspects from Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, and Tim Drake, but he just names the character himself Robin, who is also his full name Robin John Blake, which felt kind of cheap to do. Sorry if any of you guys might not agree, but that's just my view. But all in all, the movie was a great way to end the trilogy. It had so many like dark moments. It really felt more like depressing, but it also felt more enlightening and more hopeful as the movie drew towards the end, especially seeing Batman triumph. The music by Hans Zimmer, it was really, really well done. James Newton Howard wasn't brought back, but with what Hans Zimmer did, we still got some good new themes out of it and still got a really good engaging movie. So those are my thoughts on The Dark Knight Rises, The Dark Knight, and Batman Begins. Personally, I hold Batman Begins and The Dark Knight Rises higher than The Dark Knight, but The Dark Knight Rises is slightly higher. Sometimes it might switch. The reason I say that is because Batman Begins focused heavily on Bruce / Batman. With The Dark Knight Rises, it felt like The Dark Knight and Batman Begins. What made this trilogy work was the fact that the third movie didn't just become something else like most trilogies do, where you have the first movie and then you have this sequel that has built up from everything from the first, but then with the trilogy you feel like it's in a whole other territory and you kind of lose track of the events from the first and you lose some track of events from the second. But with the Dark Knight trilogy, The Dark Knight Rises took a lot of reference from Batman Begins and The Dark Knight, most especially Batman Begins, which really made it feel like it was closing the story, and it did it in a proper way. And Christopher Nolan, I want to applaud you on that. You did a great job on this trilogy, and you really did do service to the Batman character, and I'm sure fans everywhere really do admire you for what you've done. And Christopher Nolan has also done some really, really great movies. The Prestige, Memento, Inception, you know, there's some really good stuff. And if you guys have not seen the Dark Knight trilogy, you have to check it out. The Dark Knight Rises coming out on DVD in December 4, and once that happens, I think that's when I can officially say that the trilogy is over, because we won't be getting any more DVDs. That's it, and I think it ended the way it should have, and couldn't have asked for anything better. So that's my review. I know it was really amateur. I hope that you could have understood what I was saying, and if you have somehow managed to make it all the way through on this, I applaud you. And if you like this, feel free to like. I will do a few more reviews, and I also need to finish my Devil May Cry video. And other than that, have a kick-ass day, and I will see you guys later.